Hello, I decided to put this video together showing switches, computers, routers, and exactly how they work together. Now, what I realize is that a lot of people don't really understand how switches work and how routers work, and some people actually think that a router and a switch is the same thing, and so when they talk about them they actually don't know the difference. So I decided to put together this video to explain how a local area network would perform using a switch and a router. So it will show you exactly how they both work. So let's get started by taking a look at this switch here, which is the central part of the network. Now I have computers connected to the switch. This is an RJ45 connection on the switch using Ethernet cables connecting to the computer, which there's a network card inside of this computer and it's connecting using an RJ45 connector on the end of the Ethernet cable as well. So all of the computers are connected in the same fashion. Now what we would show you here is the optioning for the network. Now this information you will have to type into the computer, starting with the IP address, then the gateway. The IP address is the address that is entered into the computer. So this is the IP address for this computer here. The gateway is the IP address for the gateway, which is right here. This is the gateway to get onto the internet. Now the MAC address is burnt in to the network card that this Ethernet cable is plugged into right inside of the computer. So this MAC address is burnt in already, so you don't have to enter this in. This is already there for you. And every MAC address in every computer is different. So there are no two MAC addresses that would ever be the same in all the computers in the world. Now the subnet mask goes with the IP address, and all the subnet masks for all the computers will be the same, because if they weren't the same, these computers won't be able to communicate together. So all of these subnet masks on the computers should be all the same, 255.255.255.0. Okay, so now the DNS server, this 67.23.24.251, say for instance this computer here has just been plugged into the network. If you need to get to a website with this computer, you have to bring up a browser and put the URL in. If you want to go to, let's say, yahoo.com, say for instance, you would type yahoo.com into the browser, but the computer doesn't know where yahoo.com is because this is the first time it's going onto the internet. So what happens is this computer here go to the DNS server's IP address here that is already entered in the network. So it will go to this DNS server, which would be on your ISP's network, and it will get the IP address for yahoo.com. So that information will be sent right back to your computer. So now the computer have the IP address for yahoo.com. So it's very simple for this computer to get Yahoo now without going to the DNS server each and every time you want to get to yahoo.com. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is how computers communicate on a local area network through a switch. Now let's say for instance this computer here with address 192.168.2.2 wants to communicate to 192.168.2.5. Now computers communicate on a local area network through a switch by the MAC address, which is right here, this 14.22.01.23.45. This is the MAC address, and this is how computers communicate. But the user on this computer would not know what the MAC address is, or he would not know what this MAC address is, since he's trying to send files to this computer here. So, but the computers would be able to figure the information out, and this is how it is done. When you try to send information from this computer to that one here by putting the IP address for this computer here into this computer, the computer would realize right away that it does not have the MAC address for this computer. What it does is to send an ARP request to the switch. It sends a message to all the ports within the switch asking for who is 192.168.2.5. None of these computers attached to the switch would reply unless they have that IP address 192.168.2.5. Now this computer here would be the only one replying because they have the correct IP address. What this computer would do as a result is to send the MAC address over to this computer. Once this computer gets the MAC address, now it can communicate back and forth with this computer. So they both would know each other's MAC address. So when they need to send information from one computer to another, they don't have to send this ARP signal out to all the ports anymore. They can just send the information directly to this computer using the MAC address. So computers communicate over the local area network using MAC addresses only. They just use the IP address to get this information. Okay? Now, the second thing I want to touch here is the IP address. As you notice here, 192.168.2.2. This one is 2.3, 2.4, 2.5. Okay? This one is different, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, in order for these computers to communicate, these numbers have to be the same except for the last digit after the dot. All the other numbers have to be the same. If I change any of these numbers before this last dot here, that will stop this computer that I've changed the IP address in from communicating with the other computers. So the IP address got to be the same except for the last digit. So the gateway here has to be the same through all of these computers, simply because they're trying to get through to at the same point to get onto the internet. So if we take a look at this computer here that is different, it has a 192.168.0.7. So this 2 is being changed to a 0. So what will happen is that this computer will not be able to communicate with any of these other computers or the server on this network. It would only be able to communicate with this file server here because, as you see, it has the same digits before the dot. Okay, 192.168.0, 192.168.0. Okay, this one is .6 and this one is .7, which is fine. So they will be able to communicate. But this file server will not be able to communicate with any of these computers on a network here either. This computer would not be able to access the internet because the internet, in order to access it, you gotta have the same digit before the last dot. So all the digits got to be the same, and as we said, this digit's been changed, so it will not be able to communicate with the gateway here either. Okay, so that's basically how switches work. Another thing I want to touch on is that any computer here can be talking to any other port while another computer is talking to another port. In other words, there can be numerous communications going on between any pair of computers on this switch. Why I mention that is because before we had a switch, back in around the early 2000s, we used to use what we call a hub back in the early 2000s. There could only be communications going on between two ports at any given time. When that communication is finished, another two ports will start communicating. If two ports start to communicate at the same time, what we got was a collision, and they had to stop and reset and restart again. The more ports you had trying to communicate, the more collisions you have, which usually causes the hub to be very slow, especially when there's a large network. The switch doesn't have any of these problems. The switch is able to communicate without any collisions. This is a collision-free zone with the switch. So it is much faster than the hub used to be. Alright, so now we have talked about the switch in detail, and you probably would have a much better idea of how a switch actually works. Now let's talk a bit about the router. Now a router, you see here that there's a gateway, and this switch here will, any calls going through the internet would use this gateway to go right through to this RJ11, which is this is the same type of jack that you have on the telephone cord, RJ11, and this is how the telephones are connected to the wall. Well, this is the same jack that we use to connect the modem to the router with. RJ11 is a bit smaller than the RJ45 type cable jack. All right, so the internet signal will go through the router to the RJ11, onto the modem, and out to the internet. Now the router up here also have other local area networks connected. As you can see, there are two more local area networks, and they all and these two networks perform in the same way that this network here is performing. Now if this is a business, you might call this one, let's say, the admin department. This may be the accounting department at the bottom, and this one at the side here may be the manufacturing department, for instance. And they would all work in the same way, and they would all be sharing this internet line here going through the modem. Now one thing that I want to point out to you is that with a router, these RJ45 ports are not able to talk to each other. So this local area network would not be able to talk to this local area network, or this one here would not be able to talk to this one. These local area networks just use the router to get on to the internet. The next thing the router does is to isolate networks. So in other words, this network here, which is the accounting department, would be isolated from the admin department, and also isolated from the manufacturing department. So there's no direct communication between these networks. These networks would not be able to communicate together. The only way someone in the admin department can communicate with someone here is to run a cable from the admin department all the way to the accounting department and plug it into this switch. And they would also have to have the correct IP address like they're using over here in that computer in order for it to work. But they cannot go through the router and try to get here because the routers do not work that way. So that's the difference between a router and a switch. With a switch, ports on a switch can talk to other ports on that switch. With a router, ports on the router cannot talk to other ports on that router except for the port going back to the internet. Alright, so routers isolate ports, switches are able to connect ports together in order to have a local area network. So a switch and a router does two completely different things. I also have a course on modems and how modems works and how DSL lines work. So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put the link to this training right underneath in the description for training on DSL lines, how modems works. It's a very, very, very good course. I've had some pretty good reviews on this one as well. I'll also be putting on a course on IP addressing. For those of you who doesn't understand how IP addressing work, and how subnetting work and the different classes of IP addresses like class A, class B, and class C. I'll be putting on a course on that as well. This is Trevor from Telecom Training. If you haven't subscribed to this channel as yet or liked this video, please don't forget to do so. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.